Good morning, YouTube. Today is Tuesday, April 2nd, and he has risen. Tom is back. Good morning, boys. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back to myself.
Yes. Good to see you back. I know you.
Been a rough week. Been a rough week, let's say that.
I would imagine. I've heard that is no fun.
No, we're back today.
I like the beer.
Still not feeling well. Still not going to leave the little hole that I'm living in here in the basement. So hopefully get better here the rest of the week.
But we do need to ask, do we have a third member of the Burko team yet?
We do not. No one has been hired or born. So still rolling with two.
Man, he's really sticking in there, right? Getting a little extra cooking, huh?
He's supposed to be here next Thursday. Awesome. Masters Thursday is his due date, so we'll see what happens.
All right, well, make sure you keep us updated.
Will do.
We will allow you to miss 1 a.m. chatter, but if you have to go live from the delivery room, just tell Mrs. Burko that's how the cookie crumbles.
That would be awesome.
I'm sure everybody wants to see that.
I'm not saying whatever. But absolutely, guys. So we have finished the first quarter in the mortgage world, in the whole financial world, in the regular world. And at the end of December, the Fed set us up for an unbelievable 2024. All the news was unbelievable. We're going to see rates drop. We're going to have rainbows and parties, and there's going to be more inventory. And all the pain of 2022, 2023 is going to go away. And frankly, we're 1 quarter in, and they're liars.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
They're liars.
We've seen nothing but the wrong way.
Doing what they said. Okay, so in December, we heard 6 rate cuts, 8 rate cuts, 20 rate cuts in 2024. And now they're talking about 3. They're saying, well, at least a month ago, they were saying June, we're going to have a rate cut. But then this week and last week, all the members of the Fed start doing their whispers. Whoa. What's the whole? Well, we don't have to rush to anything here. We can take our time. There's no hurry, because they're only looking at the one number with inflation, and they're not doing anything till it gets down to 2%, it sounds like. And, well, the markets are expecting rate cuts, and now they're going back on their word. And the market is definitely not reacting positively. And I actually want to pull up yesterday's candlestick charts. This is the last month we have up that we're pulling up here. On the far right-hand side, we have yesterday, this big old red line, which means a bad day for interest rates. I don't know what you guys were seeing, but I saw rates go up about, 0.25% yesterday.
Yeah. on most loans, yeah, they were at least 1/4.
Yeah. And, that's what we can see on a daily basis, a big change. But so I don't know what to expect from the Fed. I'm starting to think we're not going to have a June rate cut at this point. And 2024 is going to be pretty similar to 2023 when it comes to interest rates, as they're just going to be floating from the high 6s to the low 6s, and you got to try to time it right to get as low as possible. But again, these buyers that are talking about 3 and 4% interest rate, that they're going to wait till it gets there, I'm just not seeing it. What do you guys think?
It's going to be a long wait for that. I mean, I'm just hopeful they get to the 5s at some point here in the next couple of years. The way everything's going right now, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But, I mean, only time will tell. We're not complete experts. We're just minor experts. We just go off of this data that they give us. And looking at this data, I mean, we just cut out every gain we had over this month. So doesn't seem like anything's great.
Yeah, no. And again, it's an election year. You would think the closer we get to the election, the less movement you're going to have, pretty much with all sectors in the economy. Mr. Senior Loan Officer, Anthony, again,
Yeah,
we're in the rates in the sixes. For 30-year mortgages, if we're looking at the history of the United States, though, rates kind of are where they should be for 30-year mortgages. It's just this inflation number making everything else expensive is really hurting us. But interest rate wise, it's not like we're at 14% when it was 80 something.
I was like, 3 or 4 years old then, but
But you originated.
Yeah, I came out of the womb originating, but the rates, a lot of people forget, man, the rates are very much the same as they were in 2019 prior to COVID. Everybody still has COVID in their minds as far as how low the interest rates were. I don't see us going back to that level. But in the same token, the rates are still good. I mean, the one thing I like that we don't do is just sell rate. Over the last year and a half, so many, people out there were like, oh, well, we'll put you in this program or we'll do this and the rates are going to drop in 6 months and then you'll get refinanced and all this other stuff. And it's really not reality. I like how we sell affordability payment. The rate's part of it, but it's not all of it. So if the payment works based on what you're buying, the rate is it's a smaller increment. So it does have an effect on the payment, but it's not everything. So ultimately, you guys know when the rates drop, if they do come down in the fives, like Tom mentioned, more buyers coming in, more multiple offers, those bids are going to be driven up and it's going to be a more competitive market. So I think it's still a great time to buy. It's definitely better than renting. That's for sure. If you can do it. So,
I mean, that's a great point, right? We've heard so much since COVID about, dating the rate because, the rate will, you're going to be able to do this and that. I mean, again, a month ago, 2 months ago, 4 months ago, we were looking like we were going to have all kinds of rate cuts in 2024. You just can't predict the future. There is no one in the mortgage business that can tell you what rates are going to be in a year. And if they're telling you what the rates are going to be, they're lying to you. If we knew what rates were going to be, we would be on Wall Street directing a hedge fund, telling them, I'm Nostradamus, and here's where the market's going. I don't see too many people in the mortgage industry doing that. And again, some people are salespeople and not loan officers, and they're going to try to sell you on information that just isn't always accurate. So Anthony makes a great point. If the payment works for you, then buy the house. If rates lower, then you can refinance and things would get better for you. If they go higher, you have your fixed rate and you don't got to worry about it. You have your payment that you were okay with. But if you're buying a house now, banking on interest rates dropping and your payment dropping, I would not suggest to have that mentality.
No, that's a bold-headed mentality.
Yes, absolutely. Moving on to topic 2, probably, I don't know if you guys heard about it, but NARS made a settlement that may be happening in July. But the mortgage industry hasn't said a lot on this settlement yet. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, VA, FHA, all are different governing bodies that could have different rules. And we still are trying to figure out what the rules are going to be. But the FHA has come out. They're the first kind of agency to say anything here, where they're talking about right now it's customary for the seller to pay both sides of the commission. If that becomes uncustomary and the buyer's agent and the seller's agent get paid by their own sides, that could change interested party contributions, which means if a seller's agent ends up paying both sides of the commission, that could be considered seller assistance. Now, FHA is saying it's not going to be. As long as it's normal and customary, the seller's agent, the seller can pay for both sides of the transfer tax, and the buyer can then ask for seller assistance. But we don't know if that's going to be the case across the board. Rules may change for each loan type. As a real estate agent, it is never more important to work closer with a loan officer. And I know, Anth, you've been preaching this. If these roles take place, the buyer is going to have to really, really be honed in on what their costs are going to be, what their loan type is, and what they're allowed to ask for and not ask for in their offer. And this is hugely important. It's why we're going to have a class on Friday. We're announcing it right here, right now. AM Chatter special class, noon this Friday. We will all be going over ways to keep your buyer's closing costs low. That's including seller assistance, lender credits, and first-time home buyer down payment assistance programs. So I'm pretty excited. We'll get the news out there. Stop by. We'll send out the Zoom link shortly, but I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Get this knowledge that we have out there to them. Let them make the best use of it.
Absolutely. So I'm excited. We'll hit that Friday after the AM Chatter. We're going to be double dutying it on Friday. But again, the sooner we start talking about this stuff, the sooner we start game planning together with real estate agents, the better it's going to be for buyers. That's just plain and simple.
100%.
Beautiful, boys. Well, we will see you Friday morning. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you then.
Later.